welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Thursday, June 18th, 2020. I finally got the date right this week.
Hey.
Lots of big news stories today, right, guys? COVID update, tons of police news, lots of funny ones, too.
A couple blasts from the past, too.
Got a feel-good one for you, too?
That's right. And feel good and blast from the past. All right, Mark, let's go.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah.
I hate to do it. I hate to do this, guys, but I have to remind everyone that COVID-19, the coronavirus is still a major thing. So, wear your masks, people, and don't saddle up next to strangers if you can avoid it, It's like
a lot of people are saying it's a myth. Did we get to the bottom of that?
No, I think they're wrong, Pat. I'm pretty sure they're wrong. The reason I'm bringing this up is
still has killed, hundreds of thousands.
I think 450,000 worldwide.
Okay.
120K
we got an average age on that yet? I mean, I've noticed that stat is never given out.
No, I'm pretty sure it's mainly the deaths are still old people, but yeah.
I'd really love to see that stat. I don't know why. Whoever's keeping that stat locked away, they need to share it.
Why would they bogart that stat?
Should be like the number one thing we're talking about, right? Yeah, and the reason I'm bringing this up in general is because the new cases keep piling in, guys. There are over 3 trillion cases of coronavirus in the United States, and that's just on the East Coast. 3 trillion.
Where's your source on that?
No, it's actually 2.2 million cases in the U.S. and over 8 million in the world. There are about 700K, 2.2 million in the U.S., 8 million in the world. 700K recoveries, which is good. 120K deaths, as I mentioned earlier in the U.S. This is just 2.2 million, 700 recovered, 120 deaths in the U.S. So that means there's like 1.3, 1.4-ish million people that are either still sick or they just haven't updated their status. And that's just on the cases that have been confirmed positive. VP Mike Pence is saying that fear of a second wave is overblown, though, guys. Not sure if he knew that 9 states, Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Nevada, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Carolina, and Texas are currently reporting record high new cases every day because they're just blowing up. Maybe that's not a second wave, though. Maybe still just the first wave. So maybe he's right.
That's what Fauci was saying. He said we're still in the first wave. Yeah.
Right. So maybe that's why he's saying it. Pence also said that the media is trying to intentionally scare the public. And I can't speak for all the media, but if you consider us media, I know we stopped talking about COVID every day because it was scaring us. Just doing the research and talking about every day was scaring us. So I don't know if that's responsible journalism or not, but I know that's kind of what happened with us.
I take issue with that because I know that the three of us and Wes have all discussed whether we're going to have our jobs or not, whether after this thing is done. So people in media are freaked out because anything that's shitty for the economy is shitty for jobs, and people in media get fucking cut.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, they're the ones that had a press conference every single day for
I don't take any offense to this because I was asking for it to be done a while ago. Yeah,
Will's over it. In vaccine news, British clinical trials found that dexamethasone, a widely available steroid, reduced the death rate for COVID-19 patients with severe lung damage. Like if you're on death's door, if you take dexamethasone, you might get away from death's grip. The WHO, who we do not like because they're liars and covered for China, has stopped using hydroxychloroquine in its study because they say it's not effective for the coronavirus. So maybe Trump should stop taking it. And President Trump is pushing for the Operation Warp Speed.
I mean, I wonder if that has anything to do. So the people that Trump, he defunded is now saying the medicine that he takes is no good. I mean, wow.
He's not taking hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, he said he was.
I know that he said he was, but I'd
this
put
seems
some money
like
he's not taking it.
It just seems like a back and forth between
Trump and WHO and Trump are having a real, they're on one, they're on a heater. And President Trump is pushing for Operation Warp Speed, guys, which is the project to get the vaccine that worked on all of the human patients in its phase 1, like 45 out of 45, out to the public before the end of the year. So he's trying to even expedite the timeline where they were like, we can have 1 million vaccines by the end of the year, and like
he's like live tested on people, just live tested on them.
He's like, get it the fuck out there before November, election. So he wants it out there soon, and that project is being headed up by the Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar, not Pence. Alex Azar is in charge of Operation Warp Speed. Also, Trump said in a pretty epic troll at a White House event on Monday, if we stop testing right now, we'd have very few cases, if any. So
Explain to me. So that was a troll because people were saying
It's he's saying literally close your eyes and it won't be there.
Right. You know how like he was saying that we're doing a ton of testing, and then he was getting in trouble for not doing enough testing. Then he's saying we're doing more testing than the other countries. So now he's just kind of like, I can't win with you people. So why don't we just stop testing? Then no one has it, right? It's like out of sight, out of mind, like Will mentioned.
It's like
see no evil, hear no evil, right?
Kindergarten argument.
Yeah. Technically, he's
shut your eyes. Yeah, you won't see it.
Yeah, technically he's right. No one's tested, no one has it, right? If a tree falls in the woods, does anyone hear it? So on and so forth. Does a bear shit in the woods? Is the Pope Polish? Is Will going to start his next story to bail me out here? Because I'm just saying,
you know what? It sounds like we need to chill, guys. Right? We need to chill out a little bit. You know what can give you all the chill you'll ever need and more. I'm talking more chill than you ever need, and that is Caliper CBD packets. These babies are the best. I just open one at a time, 20 milligram packets, pour it into my water, whatever drink I'm drinking. I wait literally 3 seconds and I chug away. The stuff is, you can't detect it. Indetectable. No taste, no mess, just instant calming chill. It washes over your entire body immediately upon the Caliper CBD. Rediscover your best self with a CBD product that's clinically proven to be superior to standard CBD oils. It's clinically proven to absorb 450% more CBD with Caliper powder compared to tinctures. So that's almost 5 times stronger and no aftertaste compared to something that tastes like you're milking yourself and drinking it with those disgusting tinctures. I don't know if you ever tried them.
They're the worst.
Yeah. Never thought about milking myself until right now.
Can't get the taste out for days with those things.
The thing about tinctures too is you have to go into like a herbal hippie store to buy them, which is my personal nightmare.
No, you can get Caliper online. Not to mention, like, I don't know have you ever seen someone put a tincture in your mouth? It looks like they're doing something wrong. Like
I tincture. I do because, well, not my CBD anymore, but other stuff. I don't want to be tinctured.
Well, you look like a weirdo.
You'd hope you're getting stronger effects. You know what I mean? If you got to go all the way to a disgusting tincture, and that's what Caliper cuts right out. Caliper gives you all the benefits of CBD in just 15 minutes, about twice as fast as any oil you could possibly take. Caliper CBD comes in affordable 10 and 30 count packs. You can get started for under $20. It's all natural, no GMO ingredients, no fillers, added chemicals, or artificial flavors. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code FACTOR at trycaliper.com/factor. You can try Caliper CBD risk-free for 30 days. If you don't love it, they'll give you a full refund. That's trycaliper.com/factor. Don't forget promo code FACTOR for 20% off your first order. Seriously, great product. Highly recommend.
We use it. We love it. Real quick, there was someone that DM'd us. They said, I get random drug tests at my job. Is this safe? There's no THC in this. It's totally legal.
100%.
This is 100% legal. It's totally safe. No THC.
Yeah. The only thing that could put you at jeopardy is if your job, your responsibility is to be aggressive and not
you were too relaxed and too calm and level-headed.
If you're not allowed to be super calm at your job, maybe.
Pro wrestler might not be a good job to take CBD.
Well, after they wrestle though, because it's good for
but not on the job.
Not before the match. After the match. Yeah,
exactly. So it's good for everything. Don't worry, you will not fail a drug test. Okay. But we got to move on, guys. Enough about Caliper. They are great. Definitely go get that caliper.com/factor, promo code FACTOR. But we need to move on to a more serious topic. We've got an update on the police legislation in Congress that's going through, and then also on the shooting of Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta and the aftermath that ensued there. So first up.
Tough stuff.
Yes. First up, let's take it to Atlanta. The DA of Fulton County has charged the officer who fatally shot Rayshard Brooks in the Wendy's parking lot with felony murder. So, throwing the book at the officer. Officer Garrett Rolfe was the one who shot his gun, fired his weapon, and the DA, like I said, is throwing the book at him, including even charges for hitting a car with his bullets. So. Every charge,
they really dotted the I's and crossed the T's there, yeah.
Every possible charge, and of course, a max life sentence there. The other officer involved, Devin Brosnan, is being charged with felony assault, but he remains on the force. He hasn't been fired yet, and he's going to be the primary witness for the DA against his former partner.
I don't think that's fair for the other guy. The other guy, based on the video footage, he didn't really do anything, right? How was he assaulting him?
I guess for the wrestling with him at the beginning, I guess they're considering that. I think the assault charge is basically being put on him so that he will turn on his
oh yeah, that's weird. I mean, Ralph shot him like a bunch of times in the back. So like that, yeah. I mean, but the other guy, I thought that they were. That's weird.
He was involved in the initial like, you know, whatever, trying to put cuffs on him and getting the tasers taken away. The DA alleges
by association. I don't know.
He was involved in the incident. The DA alleges that Rolf, the one who shot Rayshard, knew that the taser was empty and that he posed no further threat to his life at the time he shot him from close range. So it was from 18 feet away. So I think it was the closer officer. I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah, no, I watched the video. That's what I was trying to tell you. It was the closer one. So he watched.
I never saw the muzzle fire, so I couldn't tell which one fired. But
yeah, he like watched him shoot the taser and like it missed like pretty badly. Like it reminded me of like American Gladiators when they completely go over your head, like with that one, when they shoot the tennis balls or whatever. So it missed really badly, and then like right after it missed. Pop, 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 pop.
Okay, so the DA
is the first round of the Eliminator.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's the
one with the
tennis ball.
Right, I'm saying, yeah, but isn't the tennis ball the first? No, you're right. It's a separate game. You're
separate
right.
game.
Yeah. Well, right.
It was called the Eliminator, though. The final boss.
That's the final thing. Oh,
man, that was the final round. Right. So
that show.
So anyhow. That is what happened in the parking lot there, and they're ruling that felony murder, and they're having the other cop being the prime witness. And there was also, I think, 10 other witnesses that they based these charges on. There's a lot of other rumors, though, that the pushback from Atlanta PD may be extremely strong. Rumors that cops are just walking off the job in light of the charges and how the DA is handling this, and their chief just had to tender resignation over the incident. Mayor Keisha Bottoms is working on it, trying to keep everything together and praying that cooler heads will prevail in Atlanta overall so that, there's no more destruction for the citizens there. And we're in some positive news. They have a couple of suspects in the Wendy's fire that happened near intern Cam's house where they burned down the fire. The night of the shooting, lo and behold, it was 2 white female suspects.
Hilarious.
Were they employees of Wendy's?
Of course it was. I'm not real happy with the cops walking off the job. That's I know it's been really tough for them. And they're getting, a lot of hate and people yelling at them and throwing stuff at them and stuff and people hating on them. But this is the time that if you're a good cop, it's time to stand up and do your job, not fucking quit. That's kind of weak.
Yeah, well, at the same point, though, like when you throw the book at someone, right, like if someone's like a rapist, for example, and did something really nasty and self-serving, they might also throw like, sexual assault or other charges to really make it hurt as bad as possible. It's interesting. Like, of course, the DA had to bring charges of murder. Whether or not he'll be convicted, that's up to the courts.
Oh, they're bringing 11 total charges.
But to bring about a bunch of other charges, I wonder what the motivation there was.
They're trying to get him. It's some people we'd heard potentially rumors in DMs about elections coming up and whatnot, and if it's political at all.
I just feel like the public would have been satisfied with just a murder charge. It's weird to just pile it on. I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it plays out, hoping for the best for the city of Atlanta. In Congress on Capitol Hill in D.C., the Republicans in the Senate have added their addition to President Trump's executive order on policing. Let's say that there's not agreement between the two parties in D.C. Surprise, surprise. The Senate is calling their new bill the Justice Act, which
good name.
I guess is, pretty good. Pretty simple, straightforward. They're going to vote on that as early as next week, which means, of course, that the House Dems are now going to vote on their policing in whatever 2020 Act next week as well, even though that wasn't supposed to start until around July 4th or after it. So now the parties are racing so that they can have clashing bills pinging back and forth for quite a while in D.C., I'm sure. So more to come. But basically, the Dems are saying the Republicans, one, isn't strong enough. The Republicans are saying ours is strong enough, get off our backs, and we'll give you a better breakdown than that in the future.
You really got to be careful with the names of bills, right? Because like the Patriot Act, for example, patriot is a word that literally gets certain people erect when they hear it, right? But it was an act that spies on the U.S. citizens.
At the time, 9/11 really.
Oh yeah, I know what the purpose of it was.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. You should spy on us, and then
the Double D Act.
Yeah, hence the name. It's Everyone Gets $1 Million Act, or the Smart Public Act. All right, guys, I got a feel good one for you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Great.
Yeah, everyone's talking about doing something to make changes in this country for the better, but it's seldom you see someone who actually follows through. on their ambitions. But this is not the case for billionaire CEO Reed Hastings of Netflix, who has recently emerged as a leader in the education reform movement. And he's done some pretty cool shit. News broke on Tuesday that Hastings has been anonymously funding and personally developing a luxury retreat for teachers in Colorado. And this thing is sweet, boys. It's 2,100 acres. It's currently referred to as Retreat Land at Lone Rock, and it includes meeting rooms for teachers, but a spa, a sauna, hot tubs, man-made hot springs, a lodge with a wine cellar, and a yoga deck. And there's rumors that there might be a trail where you can hike with llamas.
Whoa. Wow. You got to be a teacher to go to this thing?
100%. Only teachers, bro.
How do you prove you're a teacher? Do teachers have like a card or something?
I'll tell you right now, we could fake credentials, Mark. I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Unless your spouse is a teacher, sounds like lots of cheating going on there.
On that note,
I mean, how do we get to this? Not the cheating part, but how do we get to this resort? Is what I'm saying. Because
that's what I'm saying. He's going to put you in it's an aphrodisiac the way it sounds.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. It's a horned up zone. I had a feeling that once this is up and running, there's going to be a lot of instances of Lone Rock love babies coming 9 months later.
I feel like I could keep up the lie of like having a classroom full of kids for like 3 days. There's something about Mary when he's talking about being like a teacher for the mentally handicapped kids.
Yeah. Mongo. Yeah, whatever. It's open to subs or not. That would be interesting.
Right?
Yeah. But it's pretty cool.
How do you get in? Do you have to pay him or what's the deal?
Well, okay, so it's not set up yet, but once it's up, an aide close to Hastings said the retreat, quote, the proposed conference center and retreat facility will run as a nonprofit institute serving the public education community's development of teachers and leadership. So they're going to have you come out there for 4 days, you do a leadership conference. So it's that, right? It's the training element, but it's also like the cool incentive that like, hey, it's cool to be a teacher. You become a teacher, you get to do.
Yeah, but Spin Zone, look, it sounds a lot like a permanent landmark forum in one place.
Yeah, Spin Zone, he teaches
landmark forum.
Yeah. The Netflix guy is going to be indoctrinating the fuck out of all these teachers.
Spin Zone, he teaches you how to teach. He tells you what to teach.
Oh yeah. You're gonna have a whole agenda coming back to class.
Maybe, I doubt it. Not my personal opinion, but Will, I do. Man.
I
do agree with you that
funded by climate change.
Yeah, he's going to be slipping in some PowerPoints when you're face down, getting a rub down. There's going to be a screen right below your face.
What is his agenda?
He wants to teach the way because he's smart. So he's like one of those billionaires that's like,
Derek Zoolander Center for people who can't read good, except for teachers. And he's going to make the teachers.
He knows best. So he wants everyone to teach the way he knows best, right?
Who knows? But Will, I am on your page about how horny this is going to be. I already I had like a thought the other day about male teachers, because there's not as many of them as females. It's a primarily female occupied industry. They must crush it at like teacher conferences, right? Like you go out like you're in your late 20s, the booze is flowing. Anyway, guys, Hastings, who started his career as a 9th grade math teacher, seems to legitimately care about education. Yeah, Will.
Yeah, Pat. I mean, to follow up on that, yes, absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Anybody who goes here is going to be horny.
Yeah, conference sex. Anyway, yeah. So Hastings was a 9th grade teacher. This is further evidenced by his announcement in support of education yesterday that he'd be donating $120 million to historically Black colleges and universities, which is the single biggest donation by an individual or couple to racial justice in the aftermath of the killing of George Floyd. Side note: MJ. Jumpman, he came in second with the biggest by a single individual of $100 million pledge that Michael Jordan.
Really?
But yeah.
Gates and Buffett, they got and Bezos have nothing on this.
Oh, I'm sure in the long term, but this is post George Floyd.
Gates is already working on the second pandemic to drop on us.
Why do people hate Bill Gates? Literally dropped everything to serve our humanity.
Well,
people are like,
he's getting outclassed by this guy who's trying to indoctrinate all the teachers in the country.
Gates
and
has been in Africa for the last 10 years trying to figure out how to get water to villages. Anyway, guys, the money's going to be split between Morehouse, Spelman, and the United Negro College Fund. Take it to the internet. Randy Weingarten, the American Federation of Teachers president, was not so happy. He said, "Notice he doesn't help educators. He does this. Why isn't Reed Hastings trying to use his fortune to help us fund public schools and pass the HEROES Act?" So he's hating a little bit here, guys.
What?
The HEROES Act.
He wants him to do something else with his money.
Exactly, right. Yeah.
Oh, well, I got news for that guy. Rich people, they can tend to do what they want with the money.
Well, here's the situation. The HEROES Act, the federation that Weingart is president of just launched a bunch of commercials encouraging people to vote or encourage their congresspeople to vote for the HEROES Act, which is the second economic relief package, or a second, introduced by House Democrats, and it
that's
includes
right.
money for schools, amongst other things like student loan forgiveness and more stimulus checks.
I forgot that we were even given a stimulus check. It's been so long. I forgot about the HEROES Act. Yeah.
You know why this Netflix CEO isn't going to waste his money with that? Because he knows Mitch McConnell exists, and so he's like, you know what? I'm going to put it into something that's actually going to be good, which is the teacher orgy.
And 120 million to Black universities, and he's still pumping out content. Netflix still dropping new content every week.
Little birdie told me they're running low. But yeah, the bill has been written off by a lot of Senate Republicans as a liberal wish list. So we'll see. But apparently it's important to schools. Teachers are behind.
Okay. Guys, sports are back. Did you hear me? Sports are back.
You talking about Korean baseball?
I'm talking about English Premier League soccer resumed on Tuesday.
I thought I saw a bunch of purple lions all over.
How about it? Purple lions galore. Apparently, Arsenal didn't get the memo, though, as they didn't really show up in a 3-0 drubbing by Man City.
Wait, Man City beat Arsenal, huh?
Man City beat them 3-0.
That's not likely. I don't follow it too closely, but that's an upset.
I mean, Arsenal's a very good team, but Man City in the past 10 years is.
How come it's like with English soccer, you could have not watched for a decade, and it's like, all right, well, the same teams are still dominant.
Pat still thinks like Manchester United's the best, and really Man City's been better for the past decade.
But Arsenal's always been like Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester United.
Can you name any other teams, Pat?
Yeah, Brighton. You got Man U. You got Man City. You got London, I think, as a team. You got London.
That would be Chelsea. That'd be Chelsea.
Yeah. Yep, the Chelsea.
Well, there's lots of teams.
The London Towers. Yeah. Aston Villa.
Northampton.
The Sheriff of Nottingham.
Have you been to Manchester? I have, motherfucker.
Northampton is.
Yeah, I lived in England
team.
for 5 weeks when I was working. No, I worked in Wales. I lived in England, in Chester. Aston on the border. Aston Villa and Sheffield played to a thrilling 0-0 tie after 90 minutes, guys, plus stoppage time of play. Although there's not a lot of stoppage time when there's 0 goals scored, generally speaking.
Soccer's back, and it's still, they haven't fixed that problem where there's lots of draws, have they?
Yeah, a lot of ties in soccer, a lot of low-scoring ties. There was actually a goal in that match, but it wasn't called a goal because I guess the referees and linesmen seemed to be slow to get back to it as well.
Because they hate fun. And
the ball was like on like a corner kick or something. The ball went like clearly into the net, and the goalie like framed it like a catcher when it's like 3 feet out of the strike zone, and he like moved it back towards the line. And the referees just didn't see it. And they're like, nope, didn't fully cross the line. That game ended in a 0-0 tie. Fantastic stuff there, Premier League. I mean, what do you want? Sports are back. You can't pick and choose which ones come back when. In other soccer news, a former Argentine soccer player, Guillermo Marino, got outed for being a liar or a lunatic or both on Tuesday. His former teammate Gustavo Lorenzetti, who was his teammate from 2011 to 2013, recalled a story to reporters on Tuesday that Marino once came up with an excuse for why he was very late to practice one day, and that excuse was that he was abducted by aliens.
No, come on.
Classic.
Yeah. Sorry, coach.
You got to think of something better than that, or get that kid a Wonderlic test.
Apparently, he gave the team an entire explanation of like what he felt during the abduction, saying things like he started to explain that he was suddenly lost and abducted by aliens. He explained that they take out your soul and analyze it, and all the while on the journey they're looking after you. He said something like that. So he did the classic thing where you like accentuate your lie by just giving way too many details to make it like sound believable, but actually it's just
well, how good is he? Because given a sporting team environment, if he's good enough, he can get away with this.
We're talking about practice.
Well, yeah, practice. Well, it's a really good question, and either he was very good. I didn't really research it, or he was very like charismatic and believable, and maybe potentially his teammates were all alien fanatics because they all
one of the
believed
best
him.
players.
They all believed him. Like the teammate that was even retelling the story was like, he was very believable. I believe he was abducted by aliens.
And we'd really miss his 10 goals a season if.
Yeah, right.
If you know so much about Argentine soccer, Mark, can you name 2 Argentine soccer players?
Batistuta, Messi,
Maradona,
that are currently playing.
Messi,
maybe.
And then what's that guy? The tall, skinny guy plays in the wing. I can't. Angel de la Rios or something.
That's it.
Yeah.
Verone, there was the guy Verone, the guy who played in the middle, and he was bald. He looked like a pirate. Yeah, he was funny.
Verone and Batistuta, I think, were on the same squad. Batistuta was a great goal scorer. But I watched the Maradona documentary this last week. That was pretty crazy. All right, that's soccer. Soccer's back.
All right, fellas. Moving from a soccer double to a tortoise double. And first up, a longtime Hard Factor favorite, Diego the Tortoise of Española in the Galapagos Islands, is being returned to the wild after fathering 800 offspring in temporary captivity and completely saving his species, 100%. So,
some guys are just workaholics, and Diego was one of them.
We had a shirt for a little while on Diego. Remember that?
Yeah, the tree of little turtles. It was really beautiful. Yeah, all charity shirt. Proceeds went to the Turtle Foundation. Diego, he's 100 years old now, and he's still going strong. And they're, like I said, they're putting him back in the wild because they don't need. He had so many babies that they don't even need him anymore to save the species. But I bet there's more babies in the wild.
Yeah, he's so prolific. I wonder if he's gonna be like Ricky Henderson, where he's just gonna be like walking around trying to fuck things like just way after his retirement.
Oh, yeah.
Like they kind of forced him out, but he's not.
That's a good point. Done. Like, what does he do now? What does he know to do?
He's not necessarily.
What's the minor league baseball of procreating for turtles?
Napping.
Just napping and not doing it in captivity. You just do it under a tree now in the wild. Yeah. So, good for Diego.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Diego plays like that. 800. No.
Yeah.
Next up, a 65-pound alligator snapping turtle was found in Alexandria, Virginia, not knowing what to do, wandering all over the roads, lost because it's not from Virginia. An alligator snapping turtle only exists in the deep south. The rescue people have named it Lord Fairfax and sent it to live at a zoo in Norfolk, Virginia, because he would have just frozen to death in the winter in Northern Virginia. And basically sounds like somebody thought this would be a good house pet and didn't know that they were getting a snapping turtle that would grow into a 200-pound hand-biting machine.
Yeah, I saw the picture. It looks like it could take off multiple fingers in one bite, like almost the full hand.
Oh, that's only a third of the size that it's ever going to get to.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy, but is now the right time to name a turtle after a slave owner in Lord Fairfax? I'm just saying. Is now the right time?
Well, this turtle's
a hideous beast.
This turtle's a dick. Yeah.
You're saying it's an insult to call him Lord Fairfax.
Absolutely. They're fucking with the turtle because he's ugly.
Now I'm really worried that somebody's going to name a snapping turtle Hard Factor Will. So they are ugly. You don't want a snapping turtle named after you.
Hey, well, if that happened, we would take the word back. We'd take it back.
It looks like the RZA or whatever from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 when he takes the steroids. The turtle that takes the steroids.
Bebop and Rocksteady or something.
Yeah,
it's like Bebop and Rocksteady. It's in the same class.
Like RZA and something else. Raza.
The next generation, and then they dance to Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
So
that was kind of racist.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
What?
Go Ninja, go.
Well, because you have
go.
You have the 4 turtles that become turtles through the ooze, and then you have this other turtle, it's a snapping turtle, different species, and all of it becomes like.
I'm gonna have to be
sent to ugly
to train.
I don't know. It's just not very. I don't know. Just a little.
Why is that racist?
Because it's just saying that snapping turtles are like hideous beasts, but regular turtles aren't.
Are you being the guy that sees racism in everything now?
I don't know.
You can't. I hope you can't be racist to a snapping turtle because I mean they're just an ugly animal, and that's how I feel about it.
Okay, well, that's I don't know. Well, it's small-minded, guys. We have a throwback here for you. It's a Throwback Thursday story. In fact, we're revisiting a fan favorite from 1 year ago today. Last year on this date, the world lost one of its brightest shining stars in the wizard Mandrake.
Oh yeah.
As his name suggests, the wizard
brightest
Mandrake,
stars fade out fast. They
really do. Yeah, as his name suggests, the wizard Mandrake practiced in the dark arts of magic, and apparently, it appears that he maybe needed more practice because on June 18th, 2019, the wizard Mandrake died while performing a magic trick at the Ganges River. And the trick consisted of the wizard being lowered into the river by a crane with his hands and feet and body being tightly shackled. And before the crane lowered the Mandrake in, the wizard left the crowd with some ominous words saying, quote, "If I can free myself, it will be magic. If I cannot, it will be tragic."
Mm.
And unfortunately, the latter was the case.
The best last words.
But
of
at
all
least the
time.
crowd was warned that was a possibility.
Yeah, he gave him a heads up. Hey, man, some birds aren't meant to be caged, Pat. Their feathers
That's
are just
true.
too bright. To quote.
Has anybody else announced their own death that prolifically? I don't know if it's ever happened before.
No, it's like Babe Ruth calling a shot.
calling it magic death.
Yeah, keep in mind he did this with a like a 2 foot long, terrible blonde golden wig and a weird
Why
bandana.
the wig?
Scroll down, you'll see the photo.
Because he wanted to look like an '80s rock star.
It was like part of his shtick, part of his persona. You have to ask yourself what went wrong here, guys. What went wrong for the Wizard? And I think the most clear answers come from the past.
I would say choosing a career in magic was where it went wrong.
That's possible. That's possible. But let's look back. See, in 2013, the Wizard attempted a similar stunt where he was locked in a cage and then submerged into the river. However, onlookers were apparently able to see him escape through a very visible door after just 6 seconds of being submerged. Right. And they were really not happy.
Yeah, he was a total fraud. That's why everybody kind of knew he was going to die before he went in the water.
Well, no, because he cheated the first time and he was severely beaten for it by the crowd. The onlookers punched him and kicked him, and they ripped his flowing golden brown wig from his head.
So he knew that wouldn't fly this time.
No, yeah, I think what happened to Mandrake
so he just went for death and certain death instead.
Well, he didn't want to repeat the embarrassing and painful situation, and the Wizard may have made it.
Stop doing magic tricks.
This time there was no magic trapdoor. It was just always going to be death.
No, yeah, his only option the second time around was actual magic to save him.
He was wait. What was he thinking the night before? Like he's walking around his house like, I just got to do it. I just got to go through with it.
When the time comes, the magic will appear.
Right. Yeah, no, that's sad. I mean, because he must have told his dudes. He had a crew. He must have told his crew, like, guys, this one's really magic today.
Guys, I think I became magic last night.
I'm magic last night.
They're like, oh shit, he's gonna die.
Oh shit, man.
Good point about the crew, Pat. How'd they let him go through with it? How do you know that somebody can't do this fucking thing and then you just let themselves?
Sounds like the Wizard Mandrake was quite a dickhead.
They're enablers, Will. They were swimming in the Wizard's wake. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for Hard Factor. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hey, tomorrow is Florida Man Friday. And on Florida Man Friday, we read the best stories from the state that is Florida, the gift that keeps on giving. We also will do 5-star reviews and voicemails. So if you go on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. No matter what you write, we will read it Ron Burgundy style, verbatim. What's that voicemail number? It's
512-270-1480.
Yeah, leave us a voicemail. We'll try to get to it on air.
What's coming up at 11 a.m. today?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, 11 a.m. We got an interview with...
No, it's a radio show. No,
it's a radio show. Yeah, and
long day for Pat. We're on Sirius Radio, and we have a debate with Ellie Schnitt and Tommy Smokes. Let's see who wins that at 11 a.m., right?
Yeah, it's a pretty fantastic debate.
That one, I mean, comes down to a gnat's eyelash. That was maybe the hottest debate we've had so far. I'm not saying who wins.
Spoiler alert, there's a little bit of a controversial judgment.
Oh, well, yeah, you'll
have to watch it. This is the first time the judges may have fucked up big time.
Look. We'll address any fallout that happens from the radio show.
Yeah, and if you don't know, if you're new, if we haven't been listening to the end of the show, we got a SiriusXM radio show. It's fucking awesome. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Barstool Power 85. So tune in. We got an hour of radio. It's a totally fresh show. It's different than the pod. Hey, if you like Hard Factor, we've been getting a lot of DMs. We love to see your DMs, by the way. So DM us at Hard Factor News. Follow us at Hard Factor News. We love hearing from you guys. We love hearing story suggestions. We love hearing just about your lives. The Hard Ohio, best group of fans possible out there. And you guys have really been making it possible for us to do what we do. Which is give you the news every day, and we love it. But we do need to grow, guys. So please tell a friend about Hard Factor. Share it if you love it. Follow us at Hard Factor Will, at Hard Factor Mark, at Hard Factor Pat, and at P Classy is my Instagram. At Hard Factor West, he's off for the month, but we'll follow him too, and have a great fucking day.